Hey everyone, William Stewart here with USA Darts Productions, joined by Jules Van Dongen, a recent PDC Tour Card holder now, after earning a spot through Q School. Jules, that must feel good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm good, doing pretty good. Glad to be back in the States for a little bit, and but looking forward to going out there again. So
Yeah, for sure. I know you're anxious and ready to kind of put these 2 years in action here and see how things go for you. We already kind of know you're upcoming. If you're familiar with USA Darts or just Jules in general for the last couple years, kind of getting to know him a little bit through COVID and all that. But I kind of wanted to talk about your preparations for Q School. I know that you moved over about a month before, kind of going through your family. I mean, you're initially from the Netherlands, so let's talk about that. What did you do for that kind of month before Q School to prepare yourself for the first stage and even the second stage?
yeah, I went over with Lakeside in mind, and obviously just before the start of my trip, found out Lakeside was postponed. So that was a little bit of a bummer. So yeah, the practice was all right. It wasn't great. I had one local tournament. Other than that, I didn't have much preparation. So I went out to the Netherlands 4 weeks ahead. So and then they were in lockdown, so I couldn't go to the bar and practice. I actually ordered a portable board that I sent to my brother's house in his attic. So I practiced up there a little bit. My dad helped me out, set me up with a local dart organization. The guy that runs the organization got the keys to the local sport hall, so we went and practiced there with him. And then there's another guy. He has a dart shop in the area, so they opened the shop up for us to go practice. And he actually was at Q School too, so that definitely helped. I have to say I didn't feel like I was practicing well the last 6 weeks, so my expectations lowered as I got closer, and then I think the last few practice sessions started going well, and I was all right. We'll see what we can do in Germany. So I kind of went in it with no expectations. Also, not a lot of practice time, probably about 45 minutes to an hour. That's probably what it was for 5 days a week. So not really knowing where I stood at the time.
Well, we talk about the initial months kind of leading up too. You had Seacoast, and then you kind of had a unfortunate finish at the Continental Cup. I think that you'd call it. I think that's just kind of how it goes every once in a while. So that kind of can give you a little push to take that next step. And I mean, looking at other interviews and stuff that you've done, you had like a kind of a 5 year mindset or a 3 year mindset of, hey, yeah, we'll try out this year. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But hey, we're gonna give it a go for this amount of years, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if it does, awesome. And man, to come out and kind of succeed in your first one must feel nice. But let's talk about that stage one, kind of just starting off well. You kind of want to get things underneath your feet and then ride that out into the second stage. And I think you did exactly that. Kind of ride it out of that second stage and do the same thing that you were doing. A couple good finishes along the way. What did that mean to you, kind of to start off well? Was that a good momentum builder?
Yeah, I remember the first day. Obviously, that first match was weird with the guy quitting on me, and so kind of wanted just to play the game, so I get that experience a little bit. But then the second game, I had a fairly good Dutch player, and I noticed both of us were nervous, and I think I ended up taking it in this play a Horvat, Dragutin Horvat, which he has a lot of experience, German guy. And I started already getting a little bit more in the groove. My doubles were going well. But yeah, all in all, I think in my mind, I want to play as many games as I can, especially in that first phase, to just get used to the level over there and just kind of get in the groove. And I personally felt the first, that first stage, the first 3 days, my scoring was not good at all. but my outs were good, and that kind of got me into the second phase. And then luckily, the first day of the second phase is when I really started feeling a lot better and kicking in. Definitely think that first phase was a huge help to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think that you mentioned a couple familiar names to yourself, maybe unfamiliar to some other people, but that's kind of what you get for going to maybe where you feel more comfortable at with German Q School instead of going to European Q School, just because you know a lot more Dutch people, some that you communicate well with, a little bit more friendly, rather than going to the English crowd. There's some people you do know, some people you don't know. I mean, there's just so many people from the UK and those little towns that attempt to go that Q School route. But you mentioned kind of get those finishes when you can, and then all of a sudden you found yourself playing Brian in that big final, and we were hoping you'd get your card then, but unfortunately you didn't. But by then you knew you had a firm grasp on earning your PDC Tour card. I think you had 7 points then, and by then you know that I've got a good chance here to finish things up tomorrow, if not already. So.
Yeah, and that was, going up 4-0 in the final was, I won't lie, I thought I had him, obviously, and then you feel the momentum shift. I start missing a bit, and he starts hitting everything he looks at, and then I think at that moment you feel how long the day has been, and I kind of ran out of gas. I didn't have that gear that I usually kick on, just to pull it over the line. But yeah, in my mind, I was like, I got 7 points. I didn't want to say anything, but I knew with 7 points, I was pretty sure I was safe. So
yeah, exactly. You got to feel
mixed
that.
feelings that final, but
yeah, I feel you. Brian's quite the player. I mean, he was ranked #1 in the WF for a reason. I mean, I think you were ranked 8th, which is pretty good to say so yourself. But that's kind of the nature of the beast. And now both you guys have PDC Tour cards and can move on to the next step. Let's talk about that next step. What's your preparations like right now for your first couple events coming up here rather quickly, I think?
yeah, I'm set to leave on Wednesday, and then I'll be over there for 2 weeks. So play the first, I think, first 5 player champion Euro Tour qualifiers. Yeah, it's been kind of hectic. We came home a little bit earlier just so we could get all the ducks in a row before I went back out there, because now it's nonstop pretty much. Up until I think April, I'll be going back and forth, probably every 2 weeks. And then we're thinking about maybe in summer we get an apartment, maybe somewhere at the coast, where I have easy access to an airport to go to England, and then I can bring the family with me. I think Lisa and the kids would be down for Spain and sun rather than rainy England or Netherlands. So that's kind of what we're looking at, but not sure yet.
I think you may be right on that one. I think Lisa likes the sunshine a little bit, and the kiddos do too. So yeah, that's going to be good. I think that you've got to think about here for the next year or two, too. What's going to be and what are you going to have to do to kind of make things happen? And it's going to be tough, but I mean, you do have a nice little point where your dad has been. I think how long's is your dad? He's never been away from the Netherlands? Has he always lived in the Netherlands in the same area?
Yeah, my parents, they've been, it's the same town. My brother lives in the same, all my family's in the same town. So it's easy to go back there as well. But obviously after going there for 10 years, it's not a vacation for Lisa and the kids anymore. It's more like we go to his house, and I think it'd be easier to trick him into going to the beach than the Netherlands or England, where it's just as rainy. So
I feel you. I feel you there. I feel you for sure. Well, what are your goals now? I mean, can you kind of wrap your hand around a couple goals that you want to achieve here with the next 2 years? I mean, of course, retaining your tour card's got to be one. That's always got to be on your mindset. But what's a goal that you have, or even a couple goals that you have now?
Yeah, I just hope I can keep developing my game. Ultimately, I've been playing for not even 2 years, where it's still trying to figure out how to get better, and what to do. And so now I think I can take that next step with one more practice time on the board, and two, being amongst the best of the best is going to make me better too. So yeah, obviously, you want to establish yourself on the tour. You don't want to be the joke of the tour. That's the first goal, and then the second goal is to just start looking up on the ranking, and get some wins under your belt, and hopefully some Euro tours as well. That I lack this experience, so I hope through those Euro tours I can qualify for get that experience under my belt.
Yeah, exactly. Just taking it one tournament at a time, or even that one leg at a time is what you got to do. And I think you know what you have
Yeah,
to do preparation wise. I think you've got to, of course, establish a little bit more of an average. Now that you're dealing with, I mean, we've heard it from Danny Baggish. It's the room you're in now. It's not just a handful of good players. It's everybody in the room's consistent. So I'm anxious to see how this first year goes for you, especially these first couple tournaments. I know you got a lot of support here, especially in the Midwest. I know a lot of good friends that you've maybe a couple doubles partners that you had before. So you got a lot of support, and I think you know that going forward. So I just want to say, hey, appreciate your time, Jules. It's been nice to talk with you about going forward and what you have in mind for the next couple of years.
yeah, I'm sure I'll run into you moments coming up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. It seems like you're gonna be still around. It looks like a couple tournaments you're interested in on your old Facebook, so that'll be fun. Hopefully to see you still make your way around the circuit here in the States. So appreciate your time, Jules. Thanks very much, man.
Yeah, you're very welcome.